Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. Happy Thursday. We're going to have a great show for you all today. Bitcoin currently kind of sitting at the floor of where we've been ranging here for the last week or so. Are we going to bounce? Are we going to cut through the floor? We'll discuss on today's show. Of course, equities and gold are green here. In the meantime, man, I feel like I have to make that joke as long as that's the case. Hopefully not too much longer. But regardless, guys, welcome. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy, or you can kind of switch that up. I'm Tommy. You also know me as Snorlax. I guess it just depends. Max always makes fun of me for saying it like that. But I'm joined by Tucker, Max, and of course, Chef Jackus. Welcome, guys. Before we can start talking about the charts, the market more in depth, and kind of continuing really to decipher the price action that has occurred, not just on Friday, but also in the wake of that, going to need you guys to hit the like button. And I'm kind of disappointed we didn't look at soybeans yesterday or really the day before that, because I know we had some soybeans related news. So I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't run the like button up, soybeans will be making an appearance on today's show. So just be aware of that. Let's run the like button up. Let's smash the likes. It's Thursday. We're coming into the end of the week. We're going to have a great show for you all, like I said, but kind of talking about the markets, right? That's why you're here. Bitcoin currently kind of sitting in, we'll say, the range low. I'm just judging it off the Coinbase wicks, not the Binance wicks, but I guess the Binance wicks they're deeper, so maybe they are more useful. I don't know. I'm just looking at the Coinbase chart right now. We are kind of trading into the lower end of the range that we've been developing. Altcoins have, as a whole, I think, held up much, much more strongly than things like Bitcoin and maybe even something like Solana here over the last week, which makes sense because I've been saying this to our subscribers pretty much throughout the week, that I think the risk reward for being short or bearish altcoins has really diminished. And I say that because we've really wicked out a huge majority of the long leverage that existed in those assets. If you are bearish, it makes way more sense to be bearish on majors because they haven't quite flushed that leverage out. But altcoins, like if you're bearish or shorting altcoins, right, you not only just flushed out all the long leverage. So if you do want them to drop, it needs to be forcible spot selling, but you also have that upside convexity that could potentially impact your position as well, right? Because we talk about these empty books. We can talk about how market makers likely had to sell off their spot positions as a result of being ADL'd on shorts at the same time, right? They have to stay delta neutral or else they're going to get wrecked. So yeah, maybe they do need to buy back some of these altcoins. So why would you be shorting altcoins versus, something like majors? I don't know. That's just me, I guess, going off on a bit of a soapbox this morning, but we continue, I think, to just kind of trade within this range, 107 and 117K on Bitcoin. And that's going to dictate our next move, right? If we break down below 107K, the outlook probably doesn't look very good. If we can break out above 117K, then for me, that pump that we had towards the highs here a few weeks ago at the start of October looks less like a deviation and more like a test pump, right? So for once, Bitcoin, we always say like Bitcoin looks very noisy. It's hard to gain signal from Bitcoin. We need to take more signal from altcoins. I actually think it's kind of the opposite now, right? We can take more signal from what Bitcoin is going to do and how that's going to guide the market. But of course, with everything that crypto has been doing, equities are once again green and gold is once again ripping. I mean, that dynamic seems to just like keeps like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. But I do think the fears of like people lining up in droves to buy gold is somewhat like symbolic that that gold is probably, like, from a time standpoint, fairly close to a local high. I guess we'll see. Famous last words on a parabolic asset. But what are we seeing, guys, in the market? How are we viewing things at the moment? And yeah, how is your Thursday going?
It's going well, Tommy. It's going well. Well, I haven't looked at this chart in a while. I don't know if you guys saw when I pulled it up, but Actually, I don't quite remember where I put that line, but anyway, I mean, this others Bitcoin, just you made me think of this when you were saying that you shouldn't short alts against Bitcoin right after a flush like that. I mean, others Bitcoin just retraced to 2020 levels. Like that's pretty wild. Not that this chart looks good yet by any means, right? Obviously some work to be done, but that's pretty insane. That's a pretty deep wick. And if I were a betting man, I would bet that the wick low on this is probably in, right? But,
Babe, please stop longing. It's not going up. Double bottom.
No double bottom. No, I bet that the low is actually in, but that does not mean we have to go up imminently on this chart by any means. So
you know what that wick kind of reminds me of, Tucker, is the ETH dominance move into the low that was like exactly a double bottom.
This?
Kind of. I mean, they're kind of similar. I don't know if I would necessarily like directly equate the two, but I think there's going to be some, like, I think it makes sense for others to find a bottom against Bitcoin, which is why I say, like, it doesn't really make sense to short altcoins if you're bearish, because there's way more potential deleveraging that could occur in majors than altcoins at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I hadn't looked at ETH dominance in a little bit either, but this is I kind of like this. I mean, this obviously, if Bitcoin breaks down, this is gonna go a lot lower. But as it sits right now, I mean, I don't think this looks too bad. You know, like this is probably a weekly FVG we were looking for. Yeah, it was. So I don't hate the look of the ETH dominance chart, but I mean, okay, we're going to go back to Bitcoin. Here's my thing. I think, God, that's an ugly weekly chart. I did a video on this yesterday on our YouTube because there's kind of a difference between the log and the linear fibs. But I mean, if Bitcoin like loses like, you know, these lows, I mean, this is a certainty in my opinion. I don't think you're just gonna like do this somewhere random in here. You know, like I think if you lose like 107, 108, you're coming down to 95 pretty quick. And that's an altcoin roller coaster I would not want to be a part of. So, you know, that's kind of where my head's at with Bitcoin. But like you said, some like ETH looked better, honestly. I mean, that doesn't look great, but it looks better. I think Sol looks better too. So we'll have to see. I mean, it really does come down to Bitcoin. Like if they're going to break Bitcoin down through support here, it's going to be ugly, in my opinion. But at the same time, historically, we do carve out bottoms in October and then have a great rest of Q4. Nothing on a macro scale looks bad right now. Like the proposed end of QT coming, rate cuts, gold, S&P flying, like, I mean, nothing besides crypto in a vacuum looks bad. So we'll see if Bitcoin can hold on to support here. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the majors right now.
That's a weird looking structure to me.
Which one?
More the lower time frame.
Sol?
Yeah, like it's just kind of weird. Right. I can't really like make sense of it. Like it's either a bull flag or it's about to like rip down the third drive.
Mm-hmm. Bull flag. That would be a crazy bull flag. I don't think I've ever seen a bull flag. That's pretty vertical.
I'm not bullish on Sol BTC though, so I haven't been for a long time. But
what about that trend line that you can do from the lows? I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah. Wait, this? Just like like that, or you want me to tighten it up a little bit?
No, like the one you had before.
like here, basically,
Lower.
like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, wick to wick to wick. That's worked so far. I mean, you could go as low as like 175 and still not go under the wick, right? So,
What is your plan if we lose that?
if we lose this line,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the amount.
yeah, if we lose this line, I think Bitcoin would have lost its support before Solana loses that line. You know, and that would not be good.
No,
I think
would
if it
not.
loses that uptrend, then best case, you're hoping for like another range from Sol USD.
Let me look at these. This is also a disgusting volume profile.
It looks bad, bro.
So I'm gonna have to change this to red, unfortunately. Like taking everything else away too. Like, let me just. This is the line that I really cared about, and
How about moving the goalpost?
there's nowhere to move it. There's nowhere to put it. There's nowhere.
Wait.
Manish. Study.
Jackus, before you join the StreamYard, Tucker and I were talking about all the memes that you put in into the log.
No, because Jackus, yesterday when I made the video or whatever, I realized afterwards that this was on the screen the entire time. That little red Wojak thing.
Wait, I added that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You added all of these.
I would add more, but StreamYard didn't let me, so it was like that's enough.
We'll have to come up with like a seasonal line of memes.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely like this one, but don't tell Max.
Snip snap.
Yeah, we can definitely like, keep only one crab, right? Like we don't need 3 crabs here. So oh, Bitcoin just breaking down. The lowest price we saw since the liquidation week.
No.
It is over.
Oh no.
Heaviest objects in the universe.
Hey,
What I
dude,
find interesting is that alts are not reacting at all. They are like, or they are not reacting so far.
dude, that's always how the relative strength meme, Jackus.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so impressed by the relative strength of crypto here. And then just boom.
So far.
I just think there's not as like all the deleveraging on altcoins has largely occurred. That's not to say that they can't drop deep still if majors start a major deleveraging event, but like you had some altcoins wick down 80 to 90%. How much like there's literally no more long leverage left for a lot of these altcoins. The sellers of alts, if they're going to sell, are going to be spot holders and algorithmically driven sellers.
Yeah, the only sellers left are truly spot holders who just are tired, but I don't think there are many. I think like leverage is obviously gone. Like we never had an event where all leverage would be out. That just happened. And spot holders, I mean, after like the past 3-4 years, which has been for alts mostly down only. Like, yeah, sure, there's been few new ones that pumped, but obviously they dumped after anyway. So it kind of makes sense that there is no reason for alts to go down anymore. except perpetual bleed.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of demand. Like the only bear case, honestly, for alts is that there is going to be no institutional demand, and they'll just keep perpetually bleeding. That's the only bearish case for them right now.
Jackus, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but I think ETH BTC is about to enter like a multi-year uptrend against Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, it's ETH
I'm not the
BTC,
one
I guess
complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen the Bitcoin cycle for the last probably 3 or 4 years at this point. It makes sense that we see an ETH adoption cycle here pretty soon.
I just see it had hit my level too. That's funny.
I just think that's probably what we're going to see. So I don't know how it's going to translate to USD prices yet, but I do think that it's going to be the like it makes more sense to me that we see ETH outperformance over a multi-year basis than Bitcoin at this point in time. Because I think I was saying this earlier this week on this show. It's just like way easier for me to pinpoint like who the next marginal buyer for ETH is. There are more, I think, than there are for Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin has this cycle, I think, clearly established its fundamental utility. And with that will always come a marginal buyer. But I just think that ETH is likely to have more. On a relative basis, it's a cheaper asset than Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, definitely. What about oh, you guys might be right about Sol ETH, man.
Yes, we will.
Your original targets
It's coming.
might be right.
If this breaks the low,
This chart is so ugly, man.
Like this chart is really bad. What is this?
You know what it reminds me of, Tucker, is if you could pull up the Nvidia chart from like 2018.
Oh. Nvidia, let's go here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
No, you had it.
Wait, oh, this?
Yeah, it just opened to the exactly where we needed it to.
Here?
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of that.
Maybe.
So like you've either hit a bottom and you can begin the sideways process now, or you're about to have that second leg down and then you're going to bottom. And if it's the latter, then you're talking about it's going to be a while before Sol outperformance.
Are you saying here?
It's either here or at the bottom already.
Yeah.
But I think like the structure that kind of turned into vertical at first, and then you kind of had like this vertical accumulation on it that just broke down is very similar to what Nvidia did in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, Sol is not having a good time today.
No, it's not.
I'm a little worried about how Bitcoin looks here, honestly.
Join the party, Max. Join the party.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
I mean, it just...
I think you're getting 95 at this rate, dude.
All right, let's... I want you to think about something real quick. What's that number that Bitcoin typically has every bull market, like the pullbacks, right? Like what percentage does it continue to have in terms of pullback?
Cycle or 2017?
It's like 27 to 35%, right?
Yeah.
From its all-time high. It has that over and over and over and over again. What would be a 30% pullback from the all-time high, Tucker?
That would be 87.
I mean, yeah. 87. This is the problem I was talking about the other day.
Oh, guys, bid here, bid here. Right.
This is the problem though. Okay, so like this whole cycle, we've been stair stepping, right? We've been stair stepping. We've been stair stepping. We've been stair stepping. But each pump has gotten smaller. You know what I mean? Like
There's a clear loss of momentum. I was
Oh,
talking about that this morning with our Discord, man. I'm like, Bitcoin just needs so much work. Like,
yeah.
if it can get back above like 116, I think it starts to look really interesting. But I don't know, man.
Are you winning, son? Are you tired of winning?
Do you see, speaking of winning, somebody is winning in this market. The Trumps have made a collective like $1 billion worth of, I mean, they've made like $1 billion off of crypto so far. Eric Trump was saying this morning.
Jesus.
Are you winning, son? Well, I guess it depends who your dad is.
We don't have enough Baron memes.
But I will say, I think I've kind of cracked the code for insider trading. Just keep the World Liberty Fi chart on your watch list. They predicted the dump about 6 hours before it happened on Friday. There were some tweets that came out. I'm not going to air them out publicly because I don't really think it's in my best interest to do so, but you can probably find them if you look hard enough.
What?
I'm just, my spidey senses are tingling. That's all.
For long or short?
Sometimes you just get that feeling,
What is the feeling telling you? Welcome back to work, Diamond Hands. How was the moon?
Yeah, how was the moon? I went to the moon and I came back with one nut, I don't know. There's just a certain feeling. There's like this, right before, I'm just getting a feeling.
No, Max's feelings have never led to good things. Whenever Max has a feeling like that, it's usually not. Well, the most like vivid feeling I remember you having was somewhere back here, bro. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it wasn't it this? Yeah, it was this.
Yep. We hammered that one, that's for sure.
It was that, yeah.
Yep, we hammered that one.
Oh, the FTX capitulation? Man, I fumbled that short. I'm fine admitting that. I was short from, I think, the same spot as Max. I remember chatting with him about it that morning, about how the market looked bearish. And then when CZ caused that like massive Dalai Lama candle, I closed my short into that basically at break even and missed the whole dump.
Max, tell me, how do you feel about the fact that gold is up yet another day and crypto is down yet another day?
I'm used to it at this point. So, I mean, why is gold going so crazy, right? I mean, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Like, when does gold typically go crazy, right? I'm worried about Bitcoin here. I'm not gonna lie, guys. And I know that Tommy is calm as can be because that man is prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
Perhaps
Perhaps.
prepared for chaos in the calm.
I'm
I
calm
definitely
about-
butchered the shit out of that phrase. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been kind of watching to see what Bitcoin was going to do after it broke out from that swing high we had at like 117 in early October, and I still think if you break down below the low, then you just don't want to be a hero. But we haven't broken down yet, so I do want to preface it by saying that.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to get a certain feeling, Tommy. I'm starting to get a little tickle, man.
That's the your body craving some nicotine.
Yeah. Hold on. What do you say? Pull up the XAUSPX chart. Yeah, this is it. So what is this? Gold over the S&P? Whoa. This looks like the gold or the Bitcoin gold chart, actually, a little bit, doesn't it? What market cap? Wait. No.
I mean, how much higher do we really think gold is going to go?
This is it.
I'm not calling the top on it, but I also, like the max extension I could see is like 4,800, 5K, which I know is a big move on gold for the record, but does that really mean that there's great risk reward for buying up here?
Yes, go all in on an exponential movement. Always works great.
I like to buy green candles, Jackass.
I mean, it's one of those situations where, like, if you're just a good trend trader and you're playing like the strength, chances are that momentum keeps going. Like, it's a freight train, but I think you definitely have to recognize you're buying an asset that's trading significantly higher than it was a year ago. You know what I mean? So there is a certain risk with, chasing it here. But I mean, if you pair chart it against stocks and other stuff, it's like, doesn't look like it's actually that bloated,
Okay, so my only hopium, and I was talking to Tommy about this before, but my only hopium is this. No, we gotta go lower. Yeah. This is my only source of hopium right here.
Wait, did Bitstamp not wick?
I guess not. No, wait, on the recent
That's
one.
a very different looking chart than every other exchange.
Yeah, I should actually let me do the Bybit one for both, actually. Oh my god. Okay. The only source of hopium possible.
I think if you can see, I'd almost rather just stay like, I would rather stay a bit cautious until literally like 116 is reclaimed, bro. If I'm being honest, it just, dude, why are people pocket watching me? And also, are you sure you even have my wallet? If I'm on this show, like, are you sure? There's people in the comments just.
What are they saying?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I see.
It's just,
Dude.
I want to see Bitcoin mainly back above 112, but really 116. And Tucker, can you do me a favor and draw out the quarterly open?
Yeah. Let's go. That would be the October open. Let's get a horizontal ray.
Let's see what you mean. Like 114.
That's the quarterly open. 114.
You need to get back above that. Honestly, I'd rather just wait until that happens.
What do you guys think about BNB here?
Doesn't look as bad as Bitcoin. Tell you what. I don't know. This is a very odd structure, though. I
I have
don't.
no idea what to make of this chart.
Yeah.
As is many such cases with BNB, quite frankly. I can't even remember how many times we've probably said exactly that. Like, yeah, I can't really make sense of what BNB is doing.
Well, Binance is selling all alts and just propping up BNB.
Yeah. I did notice that BNB looks way better than Mantle, which is kind of the Bybit BNB.
Yeah.
At least that's what they're trying to push it as.
I think BNB could retest like $1,000, but it's likely going higher afterward.
It has been weird, like the behavior of CZ on the timeline over the last week or so. It's almost like somebody who for years has been kind of viewed as like a beloved character getting outed as actually I'm kind of the villain, and he is not. I don't think he's handling it very well.
Wait, wasn't he treated like a hero just a week ago when Aster was pumping?
Never, ever, 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 ever be the main character, Jackus, in crypto. It's just like the worst. It's the worst label that you can be given.
Mm-hmm.
And he went full circle. He survived the main character syndrome, and he couldn't help himself.
I mean, the thing is, man, like the one part of me has a lot of respect for CZ because of like what he built. I mean, that's like what he built is incredible, right? But I also think what happened on Friday is, I mean, I think it shouldn't have been able. I don't think it should have happened, man. And I also think they're just kind of trying to sweep whatever problem there really is kind of under the rug a bit. Paying people out, things like that. I think a lot of people got hurt. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's like I'm kind of neutral on it, you know. I'm just like, he carted out SBF. People got hurt. I think Sam needed to go one way or another, but like he carted him out. Let's not forget, like I watched every day of that, every hour of that saga. I lived it. Like we were all there. Like he took that man behind the shed and just took him out, you know. That was fully him, you know, and Sam needed to go anyways, right? But like he got executed.
What do you guys think about kind of some of like the rhetoric around SBF shifting over the last few weeks and the last few months? I feel like because people are kind of seeing CZ for what he is and what he has been, maybe it's not quite as romanticized anymore after kind of what happened on BSC and to a lot of altcoins last week. What do you think about the way that people are kind of talking about SBF and FTX in hindsight now? And I will say, like, I don't think I'm the right person to talk about it because I didn't lose anything on FTX. But if you did, like, I'm sure that your response to that is like, are you serious? Right? Like, are you really trying to whitewash what happened with SBF 3 or 4 years ago? But then I think the flip side is, well, there was probably a lot more opportunity in this market when SBF was around.
I mean, there's certainly more opportunity in altcoins. FTX was always kind of the early one to like list new stuff. And they also had like their trading arm, right? Like Alameda, which was just apes, man. Like they were apes. So last cycle was a lot more fun, man. The combination of, you know, Alameda and 3AC, you know, and just like their risk appetite for shit coins. Oh yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's just
I do miss the SBF and 3AC. Just like, yeah, we're gonna shove these shit coins.
There was
so
always like
higher.
a turbo bid, man. Like just on everything, you know.
I guess
you genuinely had guys that thought we were all gonna make it, you know.
Yeah, I hope that was just because of more market participants and not just like the monetary conditions. Who the hell knows at the end of the day? But yeah, I do miss like altcoins moving up aggressively higher, and a lot of them doing it right all at the same time, not just like one or two smaller rotations. It kind of was, we kind of saw, I guess, like a glimpse of what the market would become the second half of 2021. But I still think, you know, there were huge opportunities for the entire market to catch on, and much less PvP rotational. You had AVAX Rush, you had Olympus DAO, you had SHIB in the second half of 2021 go from like 1 or 2 billion to 40. I do miss that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get QE and ZERP again, Tommy. Maybe one day.
It's inevitable.
So, Jack, is this the top end, or?
It's always been in. There hasn't been a day in which the cycle top wasn't in.
Oh gosh.
Tommy warned us about being careful with that.
You put out the juju into the world and it manifests, man. It just,
what is juju? what is that?
I mean, that's like an old like PlayStation game. If you guys ever played Tech and the Power of Juju, that it just like has always stuck with me. But it's basically just like energy, right? Karmic energy. You manifest energy that you put out into the world.
I don't think that's accurate, Tommy. I think it's actually this. This is Juju.
Did you see him try to fight this weekend?
Yeah, you mean when
Brian? Poor representation of Kansas City.
You mean when Branch broke his nose?
I don't know. I mean, I saw Juju getting held by the ear.
Getting what?
Held by the ear like a kid.
Wait. Are you talking not in the football game?
I'm talking about after the football game, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see the fight?
Branch walked up, broke his nose, right? And then he like ran over and pushed him, and then it was the whole thing. Is that not what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But there was, I saw a pretty bad block in the back that Juju had against Branch like a few plays prior, and it was worthy of a broken nose, honestly. So
I'll be honest, Tucker, I completely forgot that Juju still played for the Chiefs until this weekend.
He's a little bit washed up now, but it's fine. Yeah.
I remember he played for the Steelers. Yes, he did.
So Tucker, this chart that you have up, let's do the same sort of exercise potentially with Ethereum and maybe include ETH BTC.
Thank you, Kijus, but I do feel like I'm just like I gave all my, like I feel I cook enough. I already told you that I do think the market remains bullish. I did tell you that I think BTC is going to retest the level where it is currently. I joked about like this, obviously, but like yes, we are at that level, and so I know you need reassurance, guys, especially during times like this. But yeah, I'll continue to do what I always have done, which is that, or like my bias is still the same. It's we keep holding the levels we were supposed to, and I do remain to be bullish as long as we keep on holding them. If we lose them, then it's very clear invalidation to me, and then we would be bearish. But right now, it's a clear retest, and I don't think I don't think like it's not reasonable to be, and I joke about this. That's true. Like I put up this profile pic there with the fact that like panic. But in reality, again, we are at solid levels here. Obviously, the liquidation cascade have been horrible, and we are partially filling those wicks. But yeah, I was actually telling on the Discord people today that like most likely in a year or two or few years, you'll look back at this very chart that Tucker has right there, and you'll look at it and be like, this was such an obvious retest. I have zero idea how people could have been shorting or being bearish there, right? At 3,900. That was such a gift. How could people be bearish? I don't get it now that ETH is trading at 20, 30K. How? I don't get it. But right now, everyone is stressing it out, thinking it's over. Maybe it is, but until we lose certain levels, there is not much to discuss. You just have to wait for what the market gives you. Right now, we are at a crucial, very obvious support retest, and everyone's freaking out, which is a good thing on its own, of course, because that's how the hard time frame levels do tend to hold.
So we're bottom checkers.
I do think so. I do hear you. Just think people are just in a rough place after Friday. BB has been like a lighthouse for me the last year plus, so it just means a lot. Yeah, I mean, again, we run VC calls in the BB Discord every single day. I have opened up a newsletter for those who can't afford it, at least not yet. So you get a weekly update, and then obviously there is the subscription option, which like isn't everything, but like if you want my perspectives on the market, I believe it's very affordable. So and obviously I still give to people for free on whether that's YouTube or Twitter as much as I possibly can, and trying to find the right balance for all and help all. But yeah, I get it, right? Like times are tough, really tough. So I get that people are feeling the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Jack.
I mean, none of us obviously you can enjoy this type of environment, really. It's
pretty terrible.
It's been horrible in the crypto land for the past 4 years. You get outperformed by, and I believe there's been better ways to play it. I've definitely tried my best. We got some great upsides, not always, of course. I'm not perfect, and it's the market has been in overall, outperforming stocks for the past years. I do believe that's going to change. I believe this asset class will turn into, it will change its paradigm. It's going to become more about digital assets and less about cryptography. I said that before. And that's the paradigm shift that I believe is going to unfold over the next years. Unless, of course, it is truly the cycle top, it is truly over. And in that sense, you have the levels which are very clear to me. But don't stress them out on hourly time frame. I said that, always said that. Anyways.
Yes, they did say this, didn't they?
Where can you buy this
They did.
hoodie? I don't. Tucker sent it to me. Someone sent it to Tucker, and then Tucker sent it to me.
Yeah, no, one of our guys in Discord, an OG guy, he sent it to me to send to Max.
You don't just buy a hoodie like this, man. You
Yeah.
can't buy a hoodie like this. You got to make a hoodie like this.
Custom.
You know.
Custom.
The only thing that scares me really about Bitcoin here, guys, is so I made this script. You guys can all access it. Just go to my trading view account or whatever. It's like Max 77882 or something like that. I don't remember.
Max, not to step you out, just remind me how you were scared about Bitcoin. I'm gonna add one thing to it after.
Like, why am I worried about Bitcoin here?
No, I don't want to step you out, so please keep going. I don't want to.
Oh, sure.
You lose. You do.
This is just kind of some really simple but like effective analysis for high time frame Bitcoin trading, guys. It loves that kind of like 30% slot, like 30 to 40% slot every cycle. You can see down here, this is the 30 line, minus 30%. Then over here, we bottomed again at the minus 30% line. The minus 30% line right now is, right here at 88. And then obviously, last cycle, we even went down. This was a bit different contextually, but went down to the 50 line, between the 50 and 60 line. But, more common than that. Here, I'll go to the different chart that has more price history. Going back to the 2016, 2017 cycle. So this is the 40% line right here. Here, actually, let me go to the daily time frame. So in 2017, Bitcoin had numerous, and obviously it was a smaller asset, right? So like things mature with time. But as we're going higher, right, the bull market in 2017 really began like right around here. Let me remove all the lines that we don't need. So this was Bitcoin last or 2 cycles ago. So this bottom line would be a 50% pullback from the all-time high, and then the next one is 40, the next one's 30. So what we saw time and time again, it made a new all-time high here, had a 30%-ish correction, had a 40%-ish correction, had a 40%-ish correction, had a 30%-ish correction, all the way up to, parabola. And, what we've seen now this cycle is Bitcoin really loves that 30% this cycle, not 40% so far. So I'm just kind of pointing out why I'm a little worried about Bitcoin with how honestly terrible this structure looks. And I'm looking at this right here. And I'm saying, if we do another one of those classic 30% drops, that does take it down to roughly 88. So I just wanted to point that out. So that's kind of why I'm a little worried. I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Jackus, but that's why I'm a bit worried.
I just wanted to point out that during the most recent, end of August / 1st September, during that by closing basis, the current low that we have in, again, end of August, beginning of September, people were worried about Bitcoin too. Like ETH looked pretty decent, but people were worried about Bitcoin. And we kind of, since then, ETH went down an additional minus 20%. And Bitcoin is still higher than that point. Obviously, we are nearing it right now. We are close to it. But I just want to say that just because BTC might look scary, it kind of depends on not just on it, right?
So you're not particularly worried about this right here, this structure?
Not yet. I mean, obviously, I would rather if it already bounced back up, but it can easily retest the low of September and then bounce back. It's filling the wick, the liquidation wick right now. It's sort of the post liquidation shakeout.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing we haven't seen before. I think where I would start to get worried again is if we started to lose that liquidation wick low. That would not be good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point it makes more sense to think that we do fill this wick. We don't have to. Like, there have been some instances where it doesn't do a full fill. I kind of think it looks like it wants to. And then I would be kind of looking towards this, like, you know, this level. I mean, I don't know. It's like turning this off here. It just, when I look at Bitcoin here, I say to myself, like, all right, like, let me look at the weekly time frame quick. I just can't. This just doesn't look like a structure that wants to resolve super quickly to me here. Like, until we can get back above this level here. Like, I mean, this candle was so problematic, you know. I think because this was such a strong weekly candle, you know, this worries me a bit, you know. Like, I feel like that's happening. You look for a bottom around there, and if that doesn't happen, then you're getting your 30%, you know, bull market correction down in here.
Yeah, at that point, of course, I agree. Then that's not good. You don't want to see those levels.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. I guess I just can't really get behind the idea of like randomly bottoming here. If they do it, like, the thing is, they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like, they could turn this thing around here, but it's like, you know, I would say at minimum, like, our quarterly open is, you know, right here. Just like, I'm not particularly interested in Bitcoin until that level's reclaimed or the wick is taken out, you know?
I'd also like to see them crush the VIX and it's staying elevated, because I tweeted about this morning. I think volatility is largely a product of market liquidity. And so when you have just the VIX in this perpetual downtrend, although the VIX goes sideways, VIX futures will be in a downtrend. And that is largely correlated with market liquidity. We've kind of seen over the last like 2 or 3 months, VIX futures have found a floor, and you're now seeing the VIX begin to elevate. And I think as long as that's the case, it's a sign that, okay, maybe there's some stress on market liquidity that we don't see. And maybe the VIX does get crushed from here, right? But as long as it's staying elevated, to me, the liquidity that we're supposedly having enter the market isn't finding its way into the short volatility trade.
All right, guys, here's the deal. We have a team meeting that we have to tend to in about 5 minutes. We started the show just a hair late, so we're going to end it here. Tommy, could you take us out and let them know, man?
For sure. If you guys enjoyed Market Check today, we'll be back for another episode tomorrow. Probably have no shortage of things to talk about here over the next few days. But a reminder that we are live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with a typical start time around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, make sure to finish up your day with Market Talk, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. He's been absolutely crushing these markets and has had some great guests on in the meantime as well. So tune in for that. Just make sure to stay following and subscribe to both Because Bitcoin as well as Wabi's account on X, so you can be notified not just when we schedule those spaces, but also when we go live. Lastly, guys, if you're looking for something that can potentially give you market signals, trading some of your favorite tickers like Pepe, Doge, and even Solana, we do have a Volume Fusion Pro Discord that will actively give you hourly, well, not like hourly, but alerts based on the hourly time frame. All you need to do is sign up for our using our Blowfin referral link. You'll be given access to some of these indicators, with more coming down the line. But yeah, that's it from us, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show today. We'll be back tomorrow to close out the week and see how everything shakes out. But thank you again, as always, for tuning in. And of course, stay safe.